All right, guys, good morning. All right, let's get this thing rolling. All right, we are October the 4th, and man, AEP is just around the corner. A lot of you guys are getting so antsy about the call recording crap. One of the things, there's so much conflicting information out there. My best advice to you is to make sure that you're reading the emails you're getting from carriers. Okay. Every carrier is pretty much giving you different information, but here's what they're saying. You need to record the sales conversation. That's it. Bottom line, whatever that entails. Do you want specifics? Well, I wish I could give you specifics. Again, every carrier is different. Record and just record. I would say just record everything. So with that, we've got Logan from SMA, who's going to be talking about the record feature within Sunfire. Logan, are you there, bud?
I am. Good morning.
Good morning, man. Good morning. Get my volume turned up here. So with that, let's go ahead and I'm going to let you, I'm going to give you screen share here and let's get into the Sunfire and the tool. And guys, if you all have any questions, type them in the chat. I'll ask Logan and, or raise your hand and we'll kind of call on you. If it's too big of a question, and we'll get Logan to hop in here and answer it.
Okay, cool. Can you see my screen?
We do. Yes. All
cool.
Good.
Okay, so once you're going to log in, for the agents that are participating in the market retail, the Walmart stores, if you're in the store and you plan on submitting enrollments quotes, just log into Market Point. If not, use your regular roles and it will default you to your normal dashboard page. So you'll go into your profile settings. Just keep in mind that this is a launch, phase 1 launch. So before AEP, there's most likely going to be new enhancements with the notifications and availability. If it's on or off, can calls still come in. So today we're really going to talk as the recording feature is live today. Just pay attention to your FAQ, your question mark. That'll let you know there's new announcements, new releases. So at this point, you'll see it on your contact information. Once again, a lot of this is going to be agent preference on the way how they want to display this to their customers, or but today we're just really going to cover the primary high level functions of the recording. So you'll want to go ahead and for the costs associated with this, you can disregard that. There is no cost associated to you. So we'll set up, we'll put an area code in. I have noticed in the past couple of weeks where agents are trying to put in an area code and it's just saying there's not one available. If it's an area like Florida, Central Florida, Dallas, where those area codes can be split. I know Nashville. I'm here in Nashville. We have a split zip code. If that first area code doesn't work, try the other one. That's one of those glitches we're working out, but that is an option. So just make sure your city or your area code is not split. It could be. It just really depends. So at this point, the rest of the number is going to be self-generated. It's just that area code. I know it's a big, that's a. Agents want to make it appear that's coming from a local number, especially for local agents. So as soon as you select that, you'll get an option at the very top. My computer already recognizes that I've already activated this dialer number, but you will have something that pops up is requesting permission to access your microphone on this tab, on this web browser, and this one only. It's important that you select allow. We have some training guides that kind of walk through these steps and troubleshooting, but if you do what I did the first time and select block several months ago, you have to go into your settings and allow permissions for the Sunfire Blaze Connect site to access your microphone. It's not a big deal. If you are using mobile devices, cell phones, it will ask you every time. Once you log into Blaze Connect, and we'll cover that in just a minute on the cell phone portion, but it will ask you every time to access your microphone on your cell phone. If you do it one time on your computer, it won't ask you again.
Hey, Logan, one quick question here. Are you able to have more than one number with different area codes?
No, an agent is limited to just one right now.
Okay.
I guess if someone has set up a number and they can't delete it to get another number, or they're just trying to get multiple numbers, I could see what, from an agency standpoint, high level to have multiple dialer numbers, but for individual agents, they can only have one. We're looking at the possibility for an agency level for a principal to have multiple dialers, but currently the phase 1 launch is only limited to one.
Okay. Hey, John, if you want to unmute, did that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. I just, I have a lot of clients in California and also Tennessee. So just depending on which direction I am, but that's fine. That can work either way.
Okay. Thank you, John.
Yeah. And I think we'll go in a little bit more because like I said, every agent's conduct their business different, so you can really apply this feature so many different ways. But for the most part, one number right now. So I would probably go with where you have most of your clients. And you can always call them on the cell phone and say, hey, I'm going to be calling from this number. It may show as a spam. It may show different area code, but it's me. It shouldn't be too big of a deal.
Okay. Let's get 2 more questions answered here, Logan, and then we can move forward. Or okay. 3, because I've got my own personal one. Okay, training login. I'm going to assume that's the sandbox. Is there a login password that's needed for that?
We reset that yesterday. We can make sure to share that with everyone. The phone call dialer is not in the training environment because there's costs associated with that and storage. That would get pretty overwhelming. You can use your if they're trying to use the sandbox for the Sunfire dialer, they can still just use their live account and just make some duplicate or test records in there and practice the recordings that way. No big deal. But unfortunately, we don't have it in the sandbox.
Okay. All right. Second question. Do we need Voip or can we use our personal office line? In other words, do I have to have a second phone line in order for this to work?
No, you'll be able to merge the call from your everyday cell phone or office phone. We'll do a demonstration on that.
Okay. All right. And this is where I guess I'm somewhat confused. So I get a call right now from my senior, whatever it may be. At that point, kind of walk me through this thing. What do we, I guess I'm also personally a little lost on this thing. So where you went in there and you chose that number, that chose the area code, which gave you that fixed number. That thing is a number that's always going to call out to that senior, right?
It is. And that's kind of where I'll go ahead and walk through the first step. And so ideally your Sunfire, once I select my availability as on, at this point, on the web browser, my microphone's activated. And at this point, my computer essentially is my phone now. So I can make calls. I'm available now. If I was selected as unavailable, the clients, this is as it stands right now, it will change in the coming weeks. They'll get a busy tone if I'm unavailable for my Sunfire number. They can always reach me at my cell phone. And at that point, if I need to, I know if this call is going to, it's a prospective, it's a prospect, or I know it's going to need recording, just go in here and select availability. And the third option is to merge in the calls. We'll do in just a second, but make sure this is always shown available. This is going to work for a PC, tablet, and a cell phone. If you're using your cell phone, you'll just log in with your standard Sunfire link and credentials. And then we found that it's easier to put your phone on your side for the landscape view. The page layout's a lot better. And we don't recommend quoting on your cell phone and enrolling. You can. It can be a little difficult. But at this point, your iPhone, the Android is going to act the same as on your tablet or PC for the recording. You can select available, make calls, accept inbound calls. But first option is this option right here that I'm displaying right now. I'm on my computer, tablet, and I can make a call. I can receive a call. If I have a call coming in, I don't recognize the number. I always go search contacts. Like I said, it's going to ring for a while. So you have a little bit of time. You can go ahead and answer it. You still have a minute before you got to let them know that they're on a recorded secured line and the disclaimer. But you have a minute, so you can answer the call and say, but if you don't recognize the number as you're talking to the person, go ahead and key in that phone number and select search, and it will show you that if it's current client. This will change eventually when you have an incoming call. It will associate that phone number with the existing client record. But as today, you'll see this number pop up. Just select accept the call, search your contacts. And like I said, this is your first best case scenario that you're in the office, that you're at home and you're working from your computer. Make a call is pretty self-explanatory. Just put in a number, dial out. The moment you make a call and someone answers it, or you accept a call, the recording is automatically activated. So at that point, you can choose to read the disclaimer or have it played the automation. So I'll.
Can we go make a call and just, you want to call my cell and I can we can play along just to see what it's like?
Yeah. We'll do that for the merge call.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and just dial my Sunfire dialer. I'm a client calling in. So you'll see this is what it looks like. You'll accept the call or decline it. Sorry, it's kind of hard to do sometimes. So at this point, I've accepted the call. I can either read the disclaimer or play it. Like I said, you've got a minute. So it's not, I don't think this is much of a deterrent for the agents. I really, or the clients. At this point, most people, they call their insurance banks. They usually notify that they're on a secured recorded line. So I don't think this is going to be an issue for the most part. But that being said, it is required. So a lot of people ask if they can retrieve their recordings. At this point, no. Eventually, they will be able to, but they are being stored, and we can retrieve them within a couple of minutes for any agent that needs them. So just peace of mind there that it's being stored. And obviously, the benefit of Sunfire itself is it's being captured, the recording, the scope, and the enrollment itself. All those three most important things regarding quality control and compliance stored in one thing. So it's really going to save the agents on having to bounce around, gather their scope, gather their recordings. So that's the benefit of the Sunfire. It's a great value add pertaining to admin work. So make a call. Like I said, it was pretty self-explanatory. Just dial the phone number. If you were to create a client, if you have an incoming call, like I said, go ahead and create that client. We'll go ahead and open Tony up. So at this point, Tony Perkins is active. It's showing at the top screen. Make a call or receive a call. That way it's stored within the client record. All recordings are really tied to a phone number. So when we pull a number or an enrollment code, if you make an enrollment, we can pull that recording based off the enrollment code, post-enrollment. But that's kind of how that works. If you have a call that you're not, it's a new number, just as you're talking to them, create the record. And then that way that phone number is tied to that client. So if they call back again until the new enhancements updated, you can just search by phone number. Like I said, it's pretty quick. Once you get familiar with it, it's a pretty seamless process. I'll go ahead and stop there if anyone has any questions before we move on to the merged calls.
Let's see here. Hold on here. Going through, I added my virtual phone number and I can call out, but the call does not connect. Tried multiple numbers. It rings. Scott, you want to unmute yourself and kind of explain a little bit?
Yeah, sure. When I go into the application on my desktop, it doesn't let me go to be available or unavailable. That it's not unlocking that, but I go to my cell phone. I can make a call out. I was in my office. I called my, one of my coworkers there, and the phone rang, but it wouldn't answer, it wouldn't connect.
It's probably going back to that microphone access. Go into your settings. You typically go into your settings, more settings, privacy, security, and then at that point you can update that, allowing Sunfire access to your microphone on the Sunfire tab. I would look into that. We do have a guide on your cell phone. It's going to ask you every time.
Yeah.
Problem with the cell phone is when your phone goes into sleep mode, then you can't receive incoming calls with the first phase. That's a glitch that's being looked at as well. But if your cell phone goes into sleep mode, you won't see your red microphone at the top or right corner of your cell phone. And then when you open it back up, then it's showing you active, your microphone's active, and you can now receive incoming calls on your Blaze Connect website on your phone. It works the same as a PC and tablet, the process. Like I said, that's a lot of the questions are, if I'm out in the field, how can I, make these calls? It's, that's one of those situations where best case scenario, have a tablet or a laptop, some kind of something other than your cell phone. If you're planning on doing an enrollment, have that readily available, or just simply tell them you need to call them back in a few minutes.
Okay, and about as far as the on my laptop at the top of the screen, where in the right corner there where it says available, I can't toggle that. If I click on that, it doesn't let me go available, unavailable. It's just not active.
Are you using Chrome as your
yes.
Okay. That's going back to go into your settings, your privacy and security settings, and then you'll be able to allow your microphone access to Sunfire Blaze, and that will turn that availability on or off. That's the important step. Step one, when you create your profile or update your profile for your phone number dialer, that as soon as you activate that dialer and click up here to
start dialer phone.
Dialer phone, it will ask you permission to use your microphone. That's the only issue that will be causing that.
So I have to go into settings, and where is that?
Under privacy and security. And then it would be I don't know what kind of computer you're on, but it would be under
in my computer settings.
I'm sorry. Yes.
I was looking at settings on Sunfire.
No, I'm sorry. Your computer settings, top right, there should be 3 little dots. You go into your settings and then search privacy and security, and then you'll go into sites. Some are labeled different. I don't have my notes in front of me, but let's see if I can.
Is it in sound?
Is it possible you can show us on the screen share?
Yeah. I'll just be careful. I'm just trying to be careful not to share anything I don't need to be sharing. Privacy and security. Site settings, and then you'll go into site settings, and then you'll see here Sunfire recent activity. It'll say allowed microphone, block camera. Just right click, and then you just select microphone or camera and allow it, and that should fix your issue.
Okay, so you're going to Chrome settings, not the computer settings.
Chrome settings, correct. At the top right, little dots, go down to settings.
I gotcha.
And then you can either type in privacy, something like that. It should pop up, but it's under privacy and security tab.
Gotcha.
And then
and you go to site settings?
Correct.
Camera, microphone. You have to click them both?
I wouldn't worry too much about camera. That's optional, but definitely allow your microphone if on the sunfirematrix.com. And it's just a drop down, either allow or block.
I don't, how do you add a site there?
Go to your recent. It should all just popped up on your recent tabs. Let me back up a little bit.
It
You can
didn't pop
search
up.
it. It didn't pop up.
Recent activity.
Hey, Logan, is there a
Okay, now I see it.
because I'm sure agents are going to ask about this, man, and I don't want to revisit it over and over. You have a
Sorry.
walkthrough on this or instruction guide?
We do. Yeah, we have troubleshooting of everything that we ran into, testing for several weeks, and we put it all on one sheet. And I'll be sure to share that right after this meeting.
Perfect. That'll be awesome, man. Thank you. Hey, Scott, we're going to move forward so we
Got
can
it. Yep, I got it. Thank you.
on this one. Okay.
Did that work for you?
Yep, got it. Thanks.
Thank you, Scott. Okay, a few more questions here. Yeah, Danuta, are these for telesales? Yes, 100% telesales. If you're face-to-face, you're rocking. Don't need to do this. John is asking, when we call from Sunfire, is there a chance it's just going to show up as spam from on the insured's phone?
It is. I don't see that very much. It is a possibility. We've seen it. It's going back to depending on the provider and device. I don't really see that too much on, like I said, we've really tested Androids and iPhones. Some saw it, some didn't. It's kind of hard to tell. It's been added to the list of bugs or known bugs. That's one of the situations where you can text your client or call them and say, hey, I'm calling from this number. It's me. It's not a spam. And I realize that's hard because especially if you have a huge lead list that you're calling, just, leave a voicemail, something like that. It's like I said, this is a phase one. There will be enhancements and changes. I realize that can be an issue, but for right now, let your clients know if it's a current book of business that this is your number, or leave a voicemail, something like that.
All right, good. Next question. Do we have the ability to record our own disclaimer?
From I guess I'm kind of confused by the
Andrew. Let me get Andrew. Andrew, can you unmute and ask a little or rephrase your? Go ahead, Andrew.
The one that was pre-recorded that you can send the client. Can you record your own in your own voice or no?
You can go ahead and read that to them on the call. If you
okay. Yeah.
You can select the automation or read it yourself. I think reading it yourself would be a little more of a
personal.
Yeah. Like I said, you control the call. So like I said, if you're an experienced agent or a new agent, you're the salesperson, you control the call. There's so many different ways you can do this. Like I said, we're just showing you kind of the features and high level, but you can use your own personal preference. As long as that disclaimer is read, you're good.
Okay.
Perfect. So there we go, Emilio. So you can kind of read the disclaimer and not use the automated one. Next question. Can we turn on camera and that way the insureds can see us similar to Zoom?
No, I mean, it really depends on how you want to, if you're using Zoom or something like that, you can use multiple tabs. This Sunfire is not going to, you're really just going to have a small screen at the top right with your camera on anyways. It's going to be similar to using Zoom. You can keep using multiple tabs. You can allow the camera, but really it's not going to record the video. It's more just for the sound, the conversation. Hope that answers the question. There's a lot of different apps out there.
Okay. All right. Got it. Next question is, okay, Zach, on You're Ready to Sell, get with Julie on that. Unless maybe you can tackle this one there. It says, how come it doesn't say ready to sell? When
WellCare.
On the carrier side, it's saying ready to sell.
WellCare, because WellCare has had so many changes, we had to change the way we process our automations for 2023. We have everyone's ready to sell data for WellCare and
Highmark is Highmark WellCare? I don't even know. This is not for WellCare, but it's for Highmark.
I don't know if we track. I would have to look into that. We're really regardless. I don't think we track Highmark, but I can look into that on my files. I can't think about it right now. So I think I know a lot of people are concerned about WellCare, but I just want to throw that out there that we have the RTS data and it will be available any day now. We had to just make last minute adjustments for that. And all the carriers were pushing daily new files. So if everyone just be patient for a couple more days, we'll make sure everyone's up to date as possible. You can still view the plan benefits regardless of your ready to sell status. You're not going to be able to enroll anyways. Obviously until 10/15 for AP, but we have everyone's ready to sell status. Just
okay. Got it. Okay, couple of questions. We got questions popping in here. Okay, so does the call need to be recorded for the setting up of an appointment? And I'm going to say yes, I think so, because that's part of the sales process. What's your opinion on that?
It does. And like I said, we really try to stay away from. We really leave that up to the uplines for the coaching and internal policies and procedures. But yes, I'm just going to throw in general, if you're using Sunfire to set scope of appointments, plan reviews, enrollments, you need to record start to finish that process. When it comes to small talk, I'm gonna leave that up to the uplines. But if it falls under chain enrollments, would be scope of appointments, follow-ups, annual reviews. Even if it's a follow-up with an enrollment, someone's calling and it could potentially be a plan change, needs to be recorded. So there's a lot there, but if it falls under chain enrollment, if you're intending on mentioning anything about plan benefits, scope of appointments, anything like that, record it. And like I said, every time you dial that number out or receive that number, that recording's tied to that phone number. So we're not looking for 100 different phone calls. It's all tied to one client record phone number. I can see this being an issue. Husband and wife having the same number. That's fine. We can separate those. It's not going to be an issue. So don't worry about having to hunt down all these numbers. They're all going to be tied to one record, and we can pull all your recordings. And if you needed to, if a carrier reached out to you for an audit or something like that, but I haven't heard anything surrounding audits yet.
Yeah. So Connie, just clarify on that one. I mean, if it's part of the sales process, yes. Now Matt's been pretty good about this. If you go through the school login and under the community tab, which is the main one, just type in there call recording and you will see all the conversations. He has been posting the screenshots from every carrier that we've been receiving on what they're saying we need to record. And you'll see in there that you'll be able to familiarize a little bit more with what you need to do. But to keep it safe, to record it all. All right, a couple more questions. So we got 6 of them. Here we go. Do we need to play the disclaimer with every single conversation with a client or only for the actual presentation?
If it's pertaining to the chain enrollments, which would follow the follow-ups, the scopes, all that stuff, yes, I would just be safe. It only takes a couple seconds to read that, or you can just play it.
Okay.
But yes, because you don't know if a conversation is going to lead into a plan change or so just to be covered.
Yeah, and it's kind of stupid, guys. I agree. What if you're appointed with every carrier in that area? I guess it's more for that captive guy or that's only selling one plan and not the other one. So, but again, this is a government mandate, so we got to roll with it. Okay, from Eva, having the camera would be valuable if you're going to be doing telesales since people want to know what it should look like. I agree with you, Eva, that yes, it makes you more real. So yeah, I guess just play with it and see what it looks like. Okay, so Danuta can't log in. I received the login. Okay, Danuta, get back with Julie on that, and she'll help you reset that password. Daryl asking, when a client calls on our Sunfire number, so this 615 number that you have up there on the top right, Logan, will they be forwarded to a recording, or are we able to record our own voicemail when not available?
Yeah, there won't be a voicemail option there currently. They won't be able to leave a voicemail. You'll just have to answer it. And at that point, as soon as you accept the call, that disclaimer will pop up and you'll either play it or read it. The voicemail options are not available either for the broker or for the client. that's a next launch for notifications. So if you were unavailable, you would receive a missed call on your bill here at the left-hand side, notifying that you had a missed call and it'll notify you text or email. But currently right now you won't be able to have a voicemail. If you
no voicemail.
It rings for a long time. I know it's kind of annoying, but those will eventually change.
Okay.
We're really talking about today is how it stands today.
Got it. Okay. Let's see if I can get through some of these. Okay. So Jeff, we record all calls, needs a disclaimer. So as Logan was saying, just read it every single time. Say better safe than sorry. Kind of sucks, but it's a quickie. You can get it over with. John, any updates on whether or not to record appointment setting? So yes, appointment setting is part of the sales process. So you will have to record that. Okay. I think I've got all the comments. Oh, and Scott's got his hand up. Scott, go ahead.
Yeah, real quick, Luis. If the only reason that CMS would pull an account or a call would be if there's a dispute or a claim or a complaint, right?
To my knowledge, that is correct. Only, there's a complaint. Normally in the past, you all get an email, hey, fill these questions out, and that's it. And usually it goes away when you've done your job. Now, I'm assuming it's not going to be CMS pulling it. It's going to be the carrier requesting it. They're probably going to hit you back up with, hey, Scott, we got a complaint from Susie. And Susie, you please provide your recording. Logan, is that what your understanding is?
Yeah. Carrier said we're going to leave it up, or CMS said we're going to leave it to the carriers to make their rules and stuff. And the carrier's like, well, you told us to do this. It's been back and forth. So right now, if there's a sales allegation, if you're using Sunfire, that's why it's great to use Sunfire. So we can pull the recording, the scope, and the enrollment, all three, send it back to the carrier same day. And they're like, hey, this guy's got his stuff together. It's good. So the chances of that happen, I don't know. It's very, very small probably, but it's there. At least it's going to be stored.
Got it.
So when in doubt, use Sunfire.
Yeah. I'm assuming the recording is going to be like an MP4 file that we can download.
Yes. And like I said, we have it all. I can pull up your NPN and pull up all your recordings you've ever done, and we can send it to you very quick, and eventually you'll be able to do the same.
Okay, got it. Okay, Logan, let's go proceed with your next step, and then I'll kind of let the questions build up again.
Okay. So we'll do. You may get some feedback on this merge because we're on Zoom and phones and stuff. So one thing to mention, if you are going to be doing the merge call, so for example, if I get a call to my cell, you're going to have to keep that call going. So you want to put your phone on mute so there's not no echo or feedback to the client. So that's kind of how that works. So I'll go ahead and call you, Luis, and then we'll.
Let me go get my phone. Hold on.
Oh, okay. And I do realize this is kind of an extra step, and
I'm ready, Logan.
But
I'm going to mute myself. Go ahead, but
okay. Like I said, okay, so at this point, I'm calling. I called Luis, or he called me. It doesn't really matter. Process is exactly the same. We'll accept the call. You'll see here that it's going to be showing your number, and I'll show you that in just a second, how you can tie that to a client record. But we'll accept this. We'll go ahead and read the disclaimer.
Hello, this call is being recorded for quality assurance. Please note we do not offer every plan available in your area. Any information we provided.
So at that point, that's kind of how that works. With the merge call. So what I did was, if I receive a call on my cell phone, I add a call, and that training guide that we'll share, we have a training video. It's about 10 minutes long. It shows you how to, on your cell phone, it'll show you how to merge that call or add that call if you have an iPhone. Someone's on the line, just briefly let them know that you're going to place them on hold to transfer over to a recorded line. And then you'll dial your Sunfire dialer number. So if I'm on a cell phone, Luis calls me, I add the call, and then at that point, I'm dialing 615-437-5952. You did notice at the top left of my screen, cell phone number popped up. That wasn't the client's phone number. Just remember, open the client up or create a new client. And then that way, that phone number is tied, that this recording is tied with this client record. Just put your phone on mute and then just continue your conversation using your Sunfire browser on a laptop, or you can use your phone. It works the same.
Logan, are they going to log into Sunfire on their app or their iPhone or on their iPad through an app, or going to Chrome and then logging in?
Go into Chrome, log in. The app is next year for a quarter or two. It's gonna be a lot better. If you use because I know I use Sunfire on my phone a lot. The page restricted, the page layout's not great. Like I said, flip it over to landscape view, and then that way it's a lot better. It's a lot more user friendly. It's not an ideal situation, but it will work if you're out in the field and you need to record that call. But that's how the merge call works as of right now. Hope that was easy. It's hard to demo, but if you want to log in and start practicing with it, like I said, it's an extra step, but it's it becomes pretty easy and when you get familiar with it.
Got it. So we've already had one of our agents, I guess Daryl, they do want the recording. It happened to me. Daryl, can you unmute and just kind of give us a little scoop on that? What happened there?
Yes, sir. Actually, I was working for a call center and we were already using Sunfire. And basically what happened was, of course, it was a complaint that came in from someone I enrolled. And then basically my manager, he basically stated that he got notified from the carrier. And then basically he went into the recording and he basically listened to it himself. And then he sent them what they requested, meaning like going over the prescriptions, because the clients stated that I didn't go over prescriptions. So he chopped it up where he sent that to him, and that was it.
Mm-hmm. So when it goes with call centers, it's for the independent brokers. When this ruling came out, they were at a huge disadvantage because call centers already have call recording software in place.
That is correct.
And it's, it wasn't fair, and it's still not fair. And I would imagine that there's a lot of people on Supreme Court doorsteps right now fighting this. So, as of right now, we do what we're told, but this is a great opportunity for the agents to have their own recording software. I know it's not perfect. Nothing really is in this world, but I think it's a good solution for right now. And like I said, typically prescriptions, provider networks are going to be your number one sales allegations. But record what you can, and then I think you'll be fine. I wouldn't don't allow this recording process, deter you from selling. There's going to be situations where you're out in the field where this Sunfire recording feature is not going to be ideal. So you just tell your client you can call them back, when you're in front of a computer, make it a little easier for you.
Yes, it's going to be one of these things. You got to realize everybody has to do this. So seniors may be like, what's going on with you? I have a feeling like mine are going to be like, what? Seriously? We're just going to have to roll with it because not only you're going to have to do it, but everybody else. This is just one of those things. Let's see here. We got any more questions? Okay, so we got one question here, and then we'll get to Emilio. Hold on, Emilio. So you're talking about if they call you on your cell number that senior already has, then you have to put it on hold and three-way them with Sunfire.
Correct. Making sure that you're available. So if, for example, if you're starting the morning out and you know that you're going to be away from your computer, you want to start by logging in and showing you're available. And then at that point, if you're out on your cell phone, have your Sunfire browser open. And if you get a call on your cell phone from your client, open your Sunfire, unlock your screen, and your Sunfire browser is already open. At the top left of your cell phone, you'll see like a red camera or microphone. Every phone's a little different. That's letting you know that Sunfire microphone is live. So once you merge that call, it's exactly the same process I just did. That call's merged. You'll see your phone number at the top left of the screen. You'll accept the call, and then go ahead, either read the disclaimer or have it played. And at that point, you can move forward with your conversation. It's recorded. I would go ahead and start practicing that if you can. But that's how that works. We've done it.
Yep. So guys, get in here, get with one of your staff or your brother or sister, whatever, and just practice this thing. Have it ready. That way you're not having to practice with a senior. Okay, that's definitely going to create some frustration with your senior. So knock out all the kinks beforehand. Emilio, go right ahead. You have your hand up.
Hey, Logan, I got a message that there's going to be $1 per month charge for the usage of the number, which is not a big deal, but it said that there will be usage charges as well. So will there be charges for per minute, or how does that work?
You're not responsible for any cost. You can disregard the cost.
Okay, thanks.
It's free. It's free to everyone.
Good question. Okay. Scott is asking, do you have to leave your Sunfire browser open on your PC and available to get calls out in the field, or can you log out on the desktop?
If you log out on your desktop, and you'll still be shown available if you log in on your iPhone or cell phone. Your laptop doesn't have to be open on the browser. If you select available, that's one of those situations where if you're going to be away from your computer for a long extended period of time, go into your phone periodically and just make sure it's still showing active, because it will time out. If there's no activity in your Sunfire account for a long time, I don't know the exact time. It really just depends. I never really set and timed it, but just always go in there and make sure it's showing active, and then you'll be fine.
And here's just a tip, guys, and then I'm going to ask you my question here, because this happens to me all the time. So, guys, if you're not using Chrome, get with a program. Okay, you're going to log in or create a sign in. The beauty of it is on your desktop. If you look at Logan's here, he's got Sunfire Blaze Connect, on his bar. Okay, so it's quick and easy to get that. The good thing is if you go to your Chrome on your phone, on your iPad, and you log in there, all this is going to follow along with you. So you don't have to figure it out. And no matter what devices, once you log in, you're rocking. So here's my issue, Logan, and this happens to me all the time. When I bookmark Sunfire, I get out, I go back in, it's taking me to the home page, not the login page. And of course I'm, SOL there. What's the little trick for that?
The trick to that is, what I would do is if that's happened before, go ahead and delete that off of your cell phone, the saved link, and then re-log in. And once you're located on the dashboard, once you're located on this screen right here, at that point, save it to your favorites. If you save on the login screen, it's gonna default to a page that's not active. That's what causes that. Okay. And then that's the easiest way to fix that. Just go ahead and delete it if you have it saved, and that works the same on a PC. If you're getting an error page, a lot of times it'll show unauthorized, sometimes as well. Just delete everything you've had saved and then re-log in with the credentials you were given. And then when you're on the dashboard, at that point, save to your favorites. And that's benefit on the cell phone. Same thing. So, if you have a search, all your stuff saved, just select it and it'll bypass that login. You don't have to put in your logins manually. Just log in and then you're ready to go. You'll be shown available, and then you work on the phone the same you would on any other device.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Okay. Can I be logged into my cell and iPad at the same time? So multiple logins into Sunfire.
Yes. There's probably 4 or 5 people that's logged in on this one I'm using right now. On our on this whole training admin thing.
Okay.
So that shouldn't be an issue.
Perfect. Okay, then good question here. Another one. What if the customer says, I don't want to be recorded? Well, I don't want to be recorded. How do we annotate that?
So this is one of those areas where we always kind of just send it back to the uplines. But if I'm a salesperson and I have control of that phone call, so I see people saying politely in the call, I'm not going to say yes or no to that. But like I said, there's other ways that you could, save that sell, take it another direction. That's more of a, more of a coaching thing. But for the experienced salespeople on the call, there's other directions you can take that. Some carriers saying you can go ahead and proceed. I have not seen anything across all carriers where they say if they deny, if they decline to be recorded, then at that point you can continue with the sell. I've seen some carriers saying yes. I've seen some saying no. That's one of those situations where let's give it a couple more days or, a couple weeks to see what comes out.
Yep. I'm going to agree with you on that one. Here's what I'm going to do. When a senior says, no, screw this, I don't want to be recorded, I'm going to roll with it. And I'm going to make a note on my info sheet. If I have a management system that timestamps my notes, which I do, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to put, okay, I talked to, senior Susie, she declined to be recorded, and I'm going to hit save. It timestamps it and it's a done deal. If you don't have a management system to do that, oh, there you go. You can add a note. Perfect. I didn't even know that. There it is, guys.
Or, if you want to do, in-person appointment, say, they want to meet at, Waffle House, whatever. There's add a note on the client profiles, follow-up information. That's great as well. That's an option too.
Well, there you go. And then where is the note? I guess, oh, there it is. No,
yeah.
Where is that note? Once you hit save, where did it go?
Oh, I didn't.
So if you add that note,
something like that.
Oh, there we go. So it's right there. There you go, guys. Time-stamped and dated. Perfect. You can't beat that. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's continue here. Daryl, the disclaimer has to be verbatim or carriers will question and make you do additional training. So guys, I would just read it verbatim. Don't just start doing your own thing and think, well, you feel like you need it to that. It's a simple, a couple of sentences. You should be done in seconds. Okay. So don't just read it verbatim for now. Okay, so Eva, I think it was on Cigna training. I was on last night. They said end the call. Okay, so I'm assuming if they don't want to record, that you have to end the call, and I guess the sales process is over. I agree with Logan that different carriers have different processes. I do have a training today with United. I'll get more of a feel from the United guy on this. And then just stand by, guys. I know we're supposed to be recording right now. Just do your best, record the calls. And, I'm sure there's gonna, my guess, since this is so brand new, I'm going to guess we're going to have a little bit of leeway with stuff. Everybody's, there are different rules from different carriers. I think best thing is it's just, it's not going to be the end of the world if you violate this thing. But as long as you're trying, if you're just flat out not recording because you're going to, like, I want to get away with it, I wouldn't do that. Do your best and record anything that involves the sales process, appointment setting. Okay. Just record the damn thing. I hate it. Trust me, I'm with you guys. I hate the damn rule. Okay.
I agree. I think if the agents did everything they possibly could do, a couple mistakes, but they were doing their due diligence, I think it'd be very hard for CMS and the carrier to come down on an agent, given the circumstances.
Got it. See here, I'm not seeing any more comments. Any other questions, guys? Let's see here. Scott was saying UHC talk to your upline. Yep. And so they'll be here today. I'll ask and I'll report back on school what they say. John is asking if a senior is calling on my Sunfire line, is there a way to shut off the recording feature if they refuse to be recorded and still continue the call on Sunfire?
It will end the call and the recording. Mm-hmm. I would just go back to the to your cell phone at that point. It's the recording is automated as soon as you select accept. It's being recorded, and it's gonna continue recording until you end the recording and end call at the same time.
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, when you end it, the call is over with. At least you got them recorded that they don't want to be recorded.
Right.
There you go. And then you call them on your cell phone and maybe continue there. Interesting. That may be something to think about, guys.
That's another good point. If you did your scope of appointment in person, and then you're going to do the enrollment on Sunfire, that's a great opportunity to capture that recording. We met the other day at the library. Remember, you signed the scope. This is the day of our appointment. That way, and then you'll upload the scope to the client record if it was pre-filled out in an event. That way it's captured too. It's not required, obviously, because it was in person, but it's just nice to tie that, that recording in person or the scope appointment in person, and it's tied to the enrollment. All that information has been, associated to that enrollment. That's another thing I see people using a lot for, confirming that they did meet in person, and they did want to discuss certain plans. And you can do that as well.
Gotcha. Okay, I've got this question. I pulled this from our school app. And it's titled Sunfire Delay. Okay, so it's in here. In Sunfire, I've checked several county zip codes, and not a single plan is showing up a Part B gift back for 2023. Furthermore, when looking at 2023 plans in Sunfire, it still lists some of the 2022 plans. However, no longer listing Part B. Is there a problem loading 2023 plans yet?
They're still loading them. They'll be loading them until 10/14. You're not going to be able to. I know there's exceptions with certain ACPs, with IEPs and ICPs we've experienced some issues with, but you'll toggle from the plan years. But all the carriers, there's some carriers that still haven't provided all their plan data yet for 2023. A lot of those were typically last minute. So just give it a couple more days, and then see what happens. They're still loading them. Yeah. So.
Okay. Got it. All right. I'm typing this away. Beautiful. Okay. That's in there. Awesome. Okay. Any more comments that we have? Here we go. Okay. So if there's an appointment setter that these agents are using, must the appointment setter record the call?
From more of a TSR unlicensed standpoint?
Yeah. So they hire this other company to record the call. I'm going to assume most professional appointment setting companies are already recording it.
They do.
But what if, they just hire, a brother? Hey, my brother's going to start calling. Does that guy who's doing the appointments have to record the appointment setting process call?
When TSRs, sometimes they're strictly just setting an appointment. Sometimes they're qualifying people and then, transferring over to a warm agent. It really depends. But yes, if let's just say it's a brother that agent hired the brother, that brother will just use the agent's account and go ahead and create the client records, go ahead and call, make the appointments and record them. And that way that appointment is being stored within the client record. Easiest way to do that. And that's compliant. There's no issues there. Because obviously, if that person was doing stuff they shouldn't be doing, but for appointment settings, if it's going to be a family member or close friend, something like that, or they hire an assistant secretary, just have them use the agent's account. They can be logged in at the same time. The secretary would always want to make sure to keep saving things in case the agent does something and doesn't save. It could be an issue with some data integrity there. But that's kind of how that would work. I've seen that done numerous times. But most companies that are being paid for the leads have their own software and they usually provide a disposition report. How they transfer those leads over. It really depends, but that's kind of how that would work. Just have that person use the agent's account and set those appointments and record them.
Perfect. Okay. Can you recap what you mentioned about WellCare?
WellCare. Oh, the ready to sell?
Yeah, I guess it's not loading or whatever on that.
Regarding the ready to sell or the plan data?
I think ready to sell.
Yeah. So we have everyone's ready to sell information. We had to do some last minute adjustments on the way our automation set up. Typically, our ready to sell carriers are automated directly from the carrier. There were some issues with that on the way WellCare labels their reports. If anyone's familiar with it, it's weird. I won't, but they have the way they assign the ready to sell based off a year is kind of weird and messes with our coding, how we have stuff implemented, but it will reflect very soon. We work on it every day to try to get it going, testing it. We realize it's an issue, and we will have it well before AEP for everyone. There's a few other carriers that is slowly updating as well. That would be Cigna and Clover. But for the most part, we're working on some new regional carriers that's going to be live, pushed out pretty soon. But we're working on it. I don't know if anyone saw the blast coming out with the WellCare HRAs at $75, potentially $125 for the HRAs for WellCare. That's a great opportunity. Those will be live for AEP for Sunfire, Anthem, Humana, Anthem, WellCare, Aetna, and UHC. So take advantage of that. That'll be built into the system. It won't bounce you to an external site. So that's a great opportunity there.
Great opportunity. I agree with you, man. And we're going to get I'm going to ask this question, then we'll go a little sideways on this one. Can you review how to add a new customer on an incoming call?
Sure. We'll go ahead and close this out. So if I were to receive a call coming in that I didn't recognize, I would go ahead and search contacts. And this is an opportunity right now, if you're doing pre-appointments, to go ahead and start creating these clients. Go ahead and get them archived in your system. That way, you don't have to do that down the road. Obviously, there's going to be referrals and new leads that come in you don't recognize, especially if you have a consumer-facing website. Regarding that, I would probably maintain your cell phone number on the consumer-facing website. If you have a website that generates a lot of traffic, that's going back to your contact information, your cell phone. I really wouldn't steer away from that. You can also, obviously, if you're using your Pearl, you can only have your cell phone or one number on that. But if you have a business card or some kind of digital mailers and stuff that go out, it's probably a little late now, but you could have had your cell phone and dialer number on there, assigning, one recorded line, business line. But to create a contact, you'll just add new contact. And at that point, you just fill it out. You can fill it out completely if you like. A lot of this is going to be filled out anyways as you go through the quoting and application process. Problem with this, if you were to fill all this out, and then you go into the customer lookup, the built-in BEQ, you want to make sure that all this is right, your date of birth, because if you put a wrong date of birth in here, and then you go into the customer profile, customer lookup for the BEQ, which gives you the past 3-year enrollment history and LIS levels, and Part A and B effective dates, that could throw that off. So you really want to make sure there's no spaces and format's right for the date of birth. Asterisk is required fields, but go ahead and fill that out, and then hit save. At that point, your record save. Search by last name. That's kind of how that works. And you can put notes in like we did earlier. Go ahead and put your notes in. Save and quote. Save and quote is going to take you straight to your customer profile where you have your needs assessment process. And that's that customer lookup I was telling you about. It's not going to give you Medicaid details. It's going to tell you if they're potentially Medicaid eligible, but it will give you your LIS. Anytime I think of LIS, I'm thinking prescription drugs. So you put in the Medicare number and the date of birth, zip code, and at that point, it's going to generate CMS data for current plan, Part A and B. Great tool. If you're looking for the Medicaid information, I'd probably go to Jarvis or InProducer. But that's great. That's a great feature to have, especially if you're doing you're reviewing your book of business right now. It's potential. There's possible a client there that had changed plans and you just didn't know. It's possible. Go ahead and type that in for your current book of business. Make sure they're still in that current plan that you assigned them in, that you enrolled them in the previous year. Great opportunity to go ahead and prepare your book of business and your client records in here and make sure nothing's changed.
Okay, awesome. Hey, Logan, what if there are agents use a recording from some other source? Is there a way to upload that recording to Sunfire?
Not currently. We do have a well, I won't go into that, but down the road it will be available.
Okay.
Yeah, they're gonna have to store that somewhere, within their own system. Make sure they have their own folder for that. I do realize that could.
Yeah, I'm thinking, shoot, like these recordings, you use Zoom with a senior, you record it, you save it, it's an MP4. You're gonna have to put it somewhere that is supposed, HIPAA compliant. God, I know I'm gonna assume saving it on my hard drive is not HIPAA compliant. I don't know.
They didn't say it wasn't. They in those rulings they never said can't store on cell phone, can't store here, which was unusual to me. But the problem with that is it's gonna cost the agents a little more money on having to get extra data, iCloud space. There's so many other things that's going to cause issues with. So take advantage of Sunfire. It doesn't cost you any money, and if you can at all possible, store your recordings there.
Yeah.
An enrollment doesn't have to take place for that recording, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Okay, awesome. Can we import our book of business?
Unfortunately, no. That's something that we can maybe discuss next year because we're just so close to AEP. It's going to have to be done manually. There's some single sign-on and data pass options. Those costs, there's costs associated to that, but next year we're going to really focus on the CRM integrations for downline agencies is one of our big focuses. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this will get streamlined pretty good. How long is Sunfire going to keep these recordings?
10 years.
Okay, minimum. At 10 years, they're going to get what? I guess purged or?
Oh, just archived. You can't really delete anything. Just CMS requires. That's really with anything in Sunfire. Everything's 10 years. At that point, you should be good. But you unfortunately can't delete anything in Sunfire regarding records. And that's client records and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a good thing. You from that point of view, because you have a bad call or you didn't do something, you don't want the agent the ability to delete it.
Right.
So, okay. All right. I don't see any more questions, guys. We're past our time here. Any final questions? Unmute yourself if you'd like to ask or type it away. Can we play back the recordings? This recording or the recordings on Sunfire, Bev?
On Sunfire.
On Sunfire. So are they going to be able to pull that up there, Logan?
Currently no, but we can provide you recordings. If you reach out to Julie, she can get those recordings for you, and we can provide those to you. This is a phase one that will eventually change, but right now, going into AEP, if you need a recording for whatever reason, just let us know and we can give you that recording scope, application, all three sent to you pretty quick.
Okay, so there we go. So yeah, we'll get them. I guess when there's a customer complaint, you'll ask for it. So you're saying that Julie will have to pull those recordings and then we're going to forward them to the carrier, right?
Yeah, just reach out to Julie, and if it's something that the carriers know how to retrieve that information too, they can reach out and say, hey, we need a recording for NPN enrollment number, et cetera, and then they can get the recording. They may not even need you, the individual agent. Typically, the care will reach out to the agent first, just to let them know there's an allegation, and the upline. It really depends on the care, but that's kind of how that process would work.
Got it. So here's my take, guys, and we're going to finish the call because I do have a 10 o'clock training here at my office. So read the disclaimer, proceed with your business. If you're doing your job, guys, okay, you always state there's two things. You always want to do everything compliantly. Number one, there is no cutting corners now, okay, because you cut a corner, they're going to know about it. But the two biggest things are doctors and meds. Guys, make sure that you're doing your job. Everything else can get fixed. You forget about the language insert. Really? I never do. But that's part of the compliant presentation. You also got to talk about the star rating. Damn, I hate that crap. Hey, there's a star rating in the book. There's a language insert in the book. You got to make sure in the enrollment kit, you've got to make sure that you're not cutting any corners, because now with these recordings, you just can't say you did it. Okay. You're going to have to make sure that you're doing your job. Now, if you're face-to-face, it's game on, baby. It is game on, but you have to record the appointment. Yeah. So Mr. Jones, that phone call with, hey, I'm going to come by and you have time to see me tomorrow at 2:00. Well, you got to record that. But once you're there face to face, you don't have to record. And then how are they going to know? As Logan said, you're getting a signature on the, is that the way they're going to catch it, Logan? I guess when you're saying face to face is a signature on an SOA.
Right. And, it's, appointment could change, by a day or something. Like I said, at least it's captured. It's captured, and then they can worry about the small details later. But yeah.
All right. So Logan, if you don't mind, maybe let's see, we're the 4th today. Possibly right before open enrollment starts, which would be the 13th, maybe the following Thursday. Can we do just one more quickie, maybe final updates?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to do this one more time, guys. That way you all are 100% ready when you get out there for AEP. I'll be posting it out there on our school platform. And with that, I don't see any more chats. Logan, I appreciate your time. Thank you, agents, for being on the call. And we'll see you on the 13th, man. I'll send you an invite, Logan.
Thank you. You'll have a good one.
Okay. You're welcome. Thank you, guys.